Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. In today's episode, we start laying the foundation for our second quadrant. This shall involve building massive storage area and moving defenses as well as housing to encompass the second quadrant. We shall start building more of everything. We will expand our animal husbandry and go for additional agriculture. This is what we have built in the previous episode. As you can see, we have completed the first quadrant. We did not build the outfitter because when you build wool cloth or linen cloth, the valuation is 7. But if you convert them into wool outfit and linen outfit, then the valuation falls to 5. So we want to maximize our purchasing power, so we keep it without an outfitter. Other than that, the first quadrant is more or less complete. We also built the central pinwheel of warehouses. We laid down the foundation of it, and we will begin today's episode with the building completion of it. And we started putting skin dryers, tanners, mortars and hearths on the left hand side of this warehouse pinwheel. 5 houses around this pinwheel were also completed along with towers. These 2 towers are going to be force projection and allow us to secure area as we move forward with our construction. We had a bunch of wolves nearby, so we sent our boys out to go and hunt them down and also capture any piglets and little ibexes and mouflons. So that's very nice. We want to build up our animal husbandry as much as possible. Right, we are now going to put in our storage. So we need to make a space of 4. So I use that by putting 2 dummy granaries. Then I put down a wood or a stone storage. You can do either, while moving them 1 tile to the left. So make sure you keep that 1 tile so that the new things which will be made in the next stage can actually fit. This entire thing fits. You cannot waste any squares. So we are going to build this massive amount of storage area. You can build them interlocking, so you can have one wood followed by another stone, so on and so forth, so that more or less all the resources are evenly spread out and you don't have a bunch of resources stacked in one place and a bunch of resources further away, and then they are nicely interspersed, allowing you to get whatever resources you want when you want it. This will hug our production capability, so we need to make this storage area. Metallurgy is going to go through the roof when it hits the next time. We are going to put in our graveyard, so burial mounds outside of the city up on the hill so that our ancestors can watch over us. We will also increase the number of sleds that we have, which will allow us to move heavier objects much faster and without losing morale. If we don't lose morale, then we don't have to go and pray to totem poles and burial mounds, etc. So that saves us time and also makes it much better for immigrants to come, because lower workloads of this year reflects how much of immigrants you're going to get in the next year. Now, we are going to stop gathering and we are going to start mass farming. As the old jungle proverb says, that make hay while the sun shines. So that is actually equates to a lot of barley. We will have an overproduction of barley, which will allow us to project power. because we will be able to build all the resources, all the buildings that we want. We can build and maintain towers, so it's actually instrumental to your winning the game. Hay is that important. Hay or straw, I use them interchangeably, are a very, very, if not the most important resource of this game. Right, we are going after these Aurochs, and we have a raider attack coming in. And yeah, I noticed it a bit late, and therefore they have come quite close. They also, I think, spawned quite close. So in this early stage, if you have 2 towers clumped up, that's more than enough to take out these early Neolithic raiders, in addition to people equipped with bows. We have made a quota of 125% of bows compared to the number of adults. So everyone will have a bow, and they can have another instrument. So for example, a pick or an axe or whatever. We won't be farming, so no farming tools. They will be able to carry that, so they can defend themselves with bows using range, and also if they get closed in by, say, wolves or cave hyenas, oh my god, cave hyenas, then they can also defend themselves with the other instrument that they have, for example an axe. Now we have cut down the trees in this location, so we are going to move our tannin collection a bit further. Unfortunately, all these trees will get cut, and therefore we will need to move tannin production a little further far forward. And don't forget to do that, because if you don't have leather, then you don't have sleds, and then yeah, that's the death of a colony. You don't want to run out of leather. Never convert leather into leather outfits, because yeah, you only use them in winter. Okay, here it's very important. Check this out. One little goat has gotten caught in between the spin wheel of warehouses that we have built. So animals, humans, and items can get stuck in this one square. If a human gets caught in that, if you click him, he can magically go through these warehouses and come out, but animals can't do that. So we are going to go and save this little goat. We are going to disassemble this warehouse so that this one goat can live. He who saves one goat saves the world entire. If you have items which are caught up in that single square, you want to select that item and recycle it, because somebody will get a task of retrieving that particular item, and there is no way for them to reach it, right? So they will keep on circling and keep on making bigger and bigger, more idiotic turns, and that will make your life very difficult, because yeah, that item will remain till the end of its life expectancy. So that might be years. So somebody can be for years just walking around and just wasting time. So be careful while completing this pinwheel of warehouses. Ensure enough burial mounds. So they give you 1 prestige when you build them, 0.5, so 50% of your morale back, and they can take in 3 dead bodies. When they lose relatives or their fellow cavemen, then their morale goes down, and you require 1 bone, 3 stones, and 1 dried skin to make this item, this burial. And this is one of the most efficient early game efficient means of getting your morale back for the cost. So the cost to benefit ratio is just tremendous when it comes to burial mounds compared to, say, the totem pole. But totem pole of course takes much lesser space. I can pack them inside the settlement. Now we are going to start building our first walls. This is the outer level of walls, and it will hold 5 platforms, which are going to be right behind 5 houses. So whenever you can't build a house, try to build the platform, and then that will tell you where the house goes, and you can then plan accordingly. Right, now we're going to turn 90 degrees. We are going to build extra palisades which go into the water. This is to confuse the attackers and stop them from crossing the river, forcing them to swim. And if they do that, then that's really nice because you can continuously fire on them. However, you want to keep one tile open so that they can actually cross the river. Either one tile open or you want to have a bridge across. It sometimes has happened to me that I built this palisade so thickly that the enemy could not cross the river. Then they are forever dilly-dallying, and any of your troops which cross the river for any reason, say to retrieve a dead body or to gather things or to get tannin, then the raiders can kill them because I can't keep them on full alert the whole time. So they just remain there for years, and you cannot cross to that other bank. So you want to make sure that the raiders come in, they get hit, and you conquer, essentially. We're building up our defenses. That goat got free, so that's fantastic, and we have now saved one goat. I always prioritize the platforms because they are built much faster. Now we got a small wolf attack, and now we switch to primal vision, and now we begin seeing a lot more than we would see if we were not using primal vision. So we can capture all of these baby wolves because then they become domesticated dogs. The number of dogs that you can get is 1 divided by square root of 2. So square root of 2 is 1.414, so that's slightly larger than 1. So you would get less than the number of population that you have currently for free. And the only way you can have dogs which are more is to capture wolf cubs. Our granaries are already full, so that's how good our production capabilities are. We are going to now expand the granaries because they have 12 slots with 10 each, so you can store a maximum of 1200 food in a granary. And the items inside the granary, whether it be milk or cheese or grain or flour or bread, each one of them stay 3 times longer. So if bread lasts 0.5, so half a year, then it lasts 1.5 years in a granary, magically. Yeah, it happens. 1.5 years you have bread. Yeah, magic bread. So make sure you turn off auto collection of food inside your warehouses, and that way all the food is going to go into the granaries. And the cavemen are pretty stupid, so sometimes they put things in houses. But there is no way to prevent that because it's too laborious to go in and check every house and make sure that it doesn't have food inside of it. You'll be pulled in several different directions simultaneously. Your attention will be pulled in different directions. You would want to build different things, and that is one thing that you can't just micromanage. But the easiest way is to ensure that there is enough of granary spaces. So you can clearly see that we have moved to 240 odd food for less than 50 people. So we are maintaining a ratio of 5 to 1 in terms of food, which is great because the cavemen eat 4 to 5 food a year. 3 to 4 food a year. So you have a slight excess, which is going to entice migrants from coming in, and that is exactly what you want to do. More migrants means more power, and that is how you win this game. It's constantly about force projection. So here I was thinking of cutting down some trees because I am short of wood, and those palisades need wood to finish building. However, I decide against that because the harvest season is coming up. I still have time, but often they just start doing that when the harvest season actually hits, and then you are trying to do other things when they should be just focusing on harvesting. Our flint mines, which can be collected in the open. So you can collect flint from the surface, that is 15 flint per mine that you can collect from the surface. That is almost exhausting. Once you build a flint mine on top of that, I believe you can get 50 more. I don't memorize that number because I'm not going to stay in the flint age forever. We are not going to be the Flintstones. We're going to move to the copper age because items in the copper age are so much better than items made out of flint. So we want to move slowly, gradually. We won't rush anything. There are calculations which I will get into next episode on how you want to time when you want to move up. That has to be very, very strategically done. Else, if you move up and you are not prepared, then it's game over. So, for example, I've seen playthroughs which, of course, were on much easier difficulties, and then you would have people go to the Iron Age while there were only 100 people in the colony. That's really not enough. Once you hit Iron Age, you want to have a force projection of 150 to 200, ideally 200 people in your colony before you go and even think about going into the Iron Age. Right. So there are clear sets of numbers that you want to hit. Else, in Ancient Warriors difficulty, which is the highest difficulty, you will not survive the raid. There will be 50 to 60 fully iron armored warriors who are going to just come down, and they're going to melt your Bronze Age items, because you would be in the Bronze Age moving into the Iron Age. You won't be able to defend yourself, and that will be game over. So you don't want to do that. You just want to go and do it systematically. But that we will get into. We will make sure that we do it properly. Right. Trader came in. I always buy these animals. Animals are very, very important. I have set the limit of 30 goats, 30 pigs, and 10 or 15 sheep. So as soon as those numbers are hit, they will start slaughtering the older goats and pigs to get meat. So then that's your passive income of meat and skins, especially skins, because I will be having enough food in terms of grain. What I will actually need a lot of are raw skins to be converted into dry skin, so that I can build bows, so that I can build a lot of warm outfits, skin outfits, which I can convert to great value for buying things, because they cost 10 each. That's so fantastic, because you have woolen cloth, which you get by converting wool into wool cloth and then into wool outfit, but that costs 5. So that makes completely no sense. I don't know what the intern was thinking when he or she was putting down the valuation of wool cloth at 5 instead of, say, something like 20 or 15. That just escapes my understanding. So we want to build a lot of these skin outfits. We will have a lot of purchasing power, and we will also make sure that we get rid of our stock before we leave this Neolithic age and go into the Copper Age, because in the Copper Age the valuation of skin outfits just becomes 1. That's worthless. Right. We are going to expand our animal husbandry, so we have to make sure that we have the stables. So that is this stable, which is on the left hand side of the pinwheel of warehouses that we build, and your dry skin dryer is actually going to make sure that you place the stable in the current orientation. You won't be able to fit it in the other orientation. That's how good this system is. Then we build one haystack, and we build another animal stable, and we build 2 more facing our granaries that we had built, and they are going to be in line with the granaries, and they shall fit in a straight line from the edge of the granary. So if you are following the exact pattern by placing the first house, you should be good. This is no issues, especially in this stage. You shouldn't be making any mistakes. Right. Now we are going to put in a cheese maker. Now this cheese maker you can actually skip because we don't have enough milk. They will try to, that cheese maker will continuously give an order for, hey, I want to make cheese, right? And that is going to hold up a little bit of your workload. So that's why you want to maybe not put that one. It doesn't matter. The number of animals that we are going to capture is going to ensure that we will have a lot of milk, which will require to be converted into cheese. And it's very important to do that because you have a very low lasting item like milk to get converted into much better long lasting cheese. The different kinds of food do not give any benefits, so there is no point in having food diversity. You can just have meat and you would be fine. You can just have fish, you would be fine. You would not have any disease or anything from lack of vitamins and proteins, etc. Whatever you are growing, 1 unit of food is all that it wants. So it would want to eat 3 to 4 food a year, and if you have that in any form, that's more than enough. We are going to aggressively build our stables. However, we have to make sure that we don't overbuild stables, and we have a blizzard coming in, so we will hit the alarm bell, which will reset all the tasks. And that will be very important because in the blizzard, if they are out, then they can die very quickly. In the late game, we will be losing 3 to 4 people a year from blizzards. There is nothing we can do. The AI is pretty strong. Like right now, you can see that it needs picks to be made, but yeah, there are no picks. It's doing everything other than making picks. Luckily, I have enough flint so that I can make picks when I make them. And in case you are really in a pinch that you have to make picks, but you don't have flint mines built and your surface flint has been exhausted from the mines, then you want to put down a collection area of flint from the ground. So that might require a little bit of walking, but you really need to make sure that we have flint, because this advisor really drives you nuts by constantly reminding you that you don't have any flint. And that is why the very first thing that we went and did in this series was to go and put in an order for a single pick to be made from a single flint that we start with. We're putting in our flint mines because we have started harvesting and cutting down trees. We are completing our defenses. Things are progressing very nice. This is the winter season. We are not going to plant any pulses because we want to have them ready to go into plant in the next season. So as soon as spring hits, we go and do 2 very important tasks, which are 1, we plant, and 2nd, we go and get tannin. Because without tannin, we won't be able to make leather. No leather equals no sled equals high workloads. We are now going to put in 5 houses over here. Now over here you can build only 4. The 5th one unfortunately will not be able to be fit. So what you want to do is move to the end, and you want to build houses right in front of those 5 platforms that you have built. The platforms have got width of 3, which is the same as that of your houses, and here you can build only 3 houses, you can't build the last 2. So total 3 houses up to now from the whole plan we cannot build because of that little bit of embankment. Rest of it, other than 2 more or 3 more houses, you would be able to build. But I have already figured that into my design, and I have built an overabundance of houses that I can go over the maximum population that is allowed in vanilla. So vanilla, you can maximum go to 300 odd population. After that, the number of immigrants that you get and the number of deaths that you have completely balances out. So the game actually stops you from progressing beyond 300 population. So you go to 310 and then you're stuck. I went to 317 and that was the best I ever had. But you can't go more than that. I love looking at these flint mines. They look like forbidden chocolate chip cookies. You don't want to bite one of these because it will just shatter your teeth and cut your mouth open because these are flint. Now we have enough space for stables for our animals, so we can continue to build more and more, buy more animals, capture more animals. We're going to build more barley farms because barley will be the meme in this series. Hay is going to be the constant meme for this series. It's such a pain resource. No matter how much you prepare, one oversight is all it needs, and then suddenly you don't have enough hay, and then your progress just gets really difficult. So right now I'm choosing a bunch of trees. These are the trees you want to cut down, and you want to go in and plant in this area, and we are not going to put in the order for cutting down these trees because the planting season has now hit. We are already over 150% of workload, so that is affecting the number of people who are coming in to plant, as well as number of people who can go and collect tannin, which is of course very important. We children can go and get tannin, and also children can be used to plant crops, but you want to keep it below 150%. Trader has arrived, so we will go and see what he has to offer. Of course, we buy all of the food that he brings, no matter how much excess we have, and we also go and get all the animals that he can bring, and flint because we are running low, and these guys have built 1 flint out of those 10 flints that we had when the crisis of the flints arose. Always switch to primal vision. Keep looking around because there can be cave hyenas where you're not looking. You can also spot opportunities like untamed wolf kids. You can also have mouflons and ibexes and piglets running around, which are fantastic to catch. I finally decided that I'm not going to go and hunt the adults because then if you have to hunt a pig, that's really stupid because the pigs run really fast and then they take your hunting party on a wild goose chase, and then you are left chasing one lone pig who gives very little meat, like 3 meat. I mean, look at the amount of grain we have. We have 128 grain for 54 people. We have an overabundance of food. So that is really not worth it for the time that it takes to do that hunting. And it's not a particularly difficult hunt that they fight back, they don't. But it takes you on a wild goose chase. And those animals, those adults that you don't actually kill, and if you only capture that the younglings, the adults disappear after 1 or 2 years. So they despawn and a new horde will come in, and that's what you want. You want to do minimum effort and get maximum. planting is going fantastic. Let us now go into a recap. This is the lower part of this highly planned city, the Ozymandian Kingdom that we are building. We have started and built both the quadrants, starting from that roundhouse, the most important building of the entire linchpin of this whole map, and we have increased our population space, we have increased our animal storage, our food drying capacity, our production capacity, and post hunting capacity, so skin dryers and leather. I hope you're enjoying what you are seeing, and I hope to see you back for more Dawn of Man. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.